fans out of their seat. We want to score goals. We want to get them, momentum on our side. And then on the flip side is when we don't have the ball is a we gotta be honest.
Really? Yeah.
And we're live. Welcome, everyone, to the Afterburn Soccer Show. Let me tweak my audio a little bit here. It's good to see you all tonight. Welcome to the Afterburn Soccer Show at afterburn.soccer on YouTube. My name is Nathan. You can follow me at Afterburn Soccer. And with me is my good buddy, Jose. You can follow him at El
What's
Chico
up, everybody?
Carmona. Yeah, and we're here, just the two of us tonight. Colin's away at a wedding. Hope he has a wonderful time with his friends celebrating. We're here. We're here to talk about another busy week for both FC Dallas and North Texas Soccer Club. A bit of transfer news to also get into, to celebrate, to talk about what it might mean for the team. And then, of course, we'll close out the show after recaps of the week with some predictions. But let's just get into kind of the key headlines. And there's just a lot this week. FC Dallas, of course, had two games, two away matches. They really played well against Portland Timbers, controlled the game, but also ended up allowing Timbers back into the game and had to settle for a 2-2 draw on the road. Not the end of the world. I think we'll talk about that. But really, I think everyone was surprised at how well FC Dallas played. And then they followed that up by going down to San Diego, which they have not been able to get a result there yet. Of course, San Diego's only been in the league 1 year, but had to settle for a 1-0 loss. Maybe a little bit of a harsh result. The worst part of it was they lost their new starting goalkeeper, Daniel, to a hamstring injury. Looks like he'll be out for a few weeks. So let's just start there. And of course, a player signing in the midst of it all, a loan from USL-C side Hartford, a midfielder, a guy that Quill knows that we'll talk
Rhode
about.
Island. Was it
Rhode Island.
Island?
I'm sorry. Thank you. And I actually have the screenshot up there, right there. Yeah, from Rhode Island FC, Clay Holstad, a loan option with a purchase potential trigger at the end. So interesting news. So let's look back. We anticipated last pod that there were points to be had on the road. There were wins to be had for FC Dallas. And we saw sparkles of that, but ultimately just 1 point from two away matches. How do you feel about the week and the performances, Jose?
Just unlucky. They were pretty much in control in the match against Portland. And let's not forget that things changed once Quill went to the bench, brought in three attacking players, the formation, and 4 minutes later, Portland scores. So it's easy to see that Quill simply got the subs wrong. I mean, that game was in control, and here's the thing though: is he was kind of forced into it. The three substitutions that were made are players that he had to rest and save for the San Diego game. So those subs were penciled in. I think that he always knew that he was going to have to sit three players and bring in three players, and I'm sure he picked the time, and that's when he did it. And didn't they start with a 4-4-2 and when they were in control, and then they switched out of it? And I think the 4-4-2 honestly caught Portland by surprise. They had no answer for it. It's once the team moved away from that formation that suddenly Portland came to life. And it's there were 3 points to be had there, but still, you'll take a point on the road against a place that's, let's face it, they've only ever won once before. So it may
road
seem
points.
hard. It may seem harsh that they didn't get the 3 points, but reality says that a draw is a great result at Portland. San Diego, no, I'm one of those guys that San Diego that said, Dallas got outplayed whistle to whistle in that match. But let's not forget that goal was a fantastic strike. That was not an easy goal. That was from outside the box, from range, exactly what Dallas tries to force teams to do. They don't want you getting easy shots. They want you to have to beat them from long range. And San Diego happened to find that one shot. I mean, honestly, it takes away from a fantastic defensive performance from FC Dallas. I mean, really, it was sensational defensive performance, and just that one goal got through, and it wasn't to be. Honestly, I think a draw at San Diego would have been a great result also. But I think we were hoping for, some of us, like myself, were hoping for 6 points. I thought 4 was realistic, but 1 point, harsh. And we've got 7 more road games to go, so this could be a long road trip.
Yeah, there were a couple of threads where I was paying attention to, and I enjoyed the chatter with the crew, but and some of the chat crew on X, just talking about the game, but the right side against, it was really the way they attacked. The Timbers were able to have some success in the second half of that game, and just take advantage of some breakdowns at coverage and things. Some lessons to be learned there, but also some questions about this roster that continue. I mean, I think if you're new to FC Dallas and you're listening to this, you're trying to follow them after the World Cup. I mean, we have such talent on this squad, and there's a lot of great pieces. But the challenge for Eric Quill is how to get the right set of pieces on the board. If you think about chess,
and on the road,
and on the road, and against different teams who are going to bring different kinds of pressure. But we see different pieces that have quality, but sometimes they're not fitting just yet, and they're still taking time to acclimate. So like Herman Johansson, I mean, he was with Sweden for the World Cup, and we brought him in. He was a big signing that seemed to fit what Quill wants, and it hasn't quite come to fruition yet, and it may just take some time. He's a quality guy. He has some physical tools that's nice to have, but I think you saw against Timbers and others that it's not quite fit, and maybe the way they're moving him around and changing his positions isn't helping him find consistency. But so then against San Diego, they bring in Shaq Moore on the right. So it's clear Quill is trying to figure out, and also needing to rotate guys, needing to get the right guys fit after a World Cup break and stuff. It's not easy, and you have guys like Kamungo coming back off of injury who just haven't looked great either. But
he's playing like a guy who hasn't played in a long time, and that's the same thing goes with Julio. It's like you're sacrificing. You have to sacrifice his minutes to get these players up to par, and sadly, that didn't help. That didn't help these 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks, but you have to give him the minutes. You have to get him up to speed, and hopefully that won't take forever. But there's no guarantee. You never know. A player may never find his groove for the rest of the season. We don't know. Yeah. They could find it right away. They might take forever. Hey, what's up? But no, I think, like I said, I think everyone's not happy that there were 3 points to be had in the first game and faded away, and there was the San Diego game was just a dreadful match to watch. And I think Quill just got out coached in that second game against San Diego, if I'm being honest. And let me say about Johansson is the only thing I learned from about Johansson in these 2 matches is that he's not a pure fullback in a 4-4-2. That's not his best position. You put him in a 4-4-2, you ask him to be defensive. Defense is not his strength. Going forward is. He and this is where I'm saying is Quill changed the formation. I mean, if you're gonna run a three in the back against San Diego, that's when Johansson should have been playing because he's a wing back. He's not a fullback. I mean, at least not a defensive one. And I think that's what you saw. And mind you, even then, like you said, that he didn't really start struggling until the second half, and you have to wonder if that has if we don't know what he was doing in international play, and he wasn't getting a lot of minutes, but that doesn't mean he wasn't training hard there. So you would hope that it wasn't just fatigue that kicked in because that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, man, that's the question mark that we have for this. And yeah, shout out to Mikey Varas at for San Diego, another FC Dallas guy who I think
You have to wonder if Varys gets really up for this match. Let's not forget that he was with this organization and was, you know, when Lucci was let go, he was also let go with him. And you wouldn't blame him if he got up for if he gets up for playing FC Dallas and
yeah.
enjoys having his team fired up for this team. And I think Dallas is never a team that he's going to underestimate because, like I said, he's got history with the club, and he's like, hey, they're counting on us to underestimate them. So I think great. He's shown that he's improved as a manager, significantly since he last was here. So great to see him doing good. Also, I want to say that despite the 1 point in 2 road games, FC Dallas didn't really lose much ground because everybody else is struggling. It seems to be the bottom of the table teams are surging at the moment,
Right.
and that's
I mean, look at San
for
Diego. I
Dallas
mean, that it was. We thought maybe it was a gimme game because they have not been good this year. They have just been
yeah.
nowhere the shade of themselves from the dominant form they were last year. But for whatever reason, it's not there. So of course they're going to have a second half of the season bounce. So they're going to come out of this trying to get something going.
Yeah, the World Cup break seems to have revitalized the teams at the bottom of the table. I mean, we're talking St. Louis, we're talking Portland. One of the teams having making a is that Sporting Kansas City that's also
Yeah,
doing good.
they're doing a little bit better. Yeah.
I mean, there's just a big bounce from all the teams at the bottom, and we'll see if that stays. And I think Dallas will turn around. Like I said, I'm happy to see them getting healthy. Sadly, Daniel goes down, but I mean, we have decent goalkeepers behind him, so that's not a concern. And if he's lost, I mean, he's at the end of his contract. So, like I said, it could be that natural selection here in there in Frisco. It's like, okay, maybe we don't keep the best goalkeeper, but we kept the healthiest one.
Yeah. Tough break for Daniel. I mean, I think we'll see him again, but it does open the door back to having that healthy competition there. So, yeah, I think that's the problem that Quill just has for each of these games is to try to rotate, but try to get the right piece. I mean, because we saw Patrick Delgado score a really great goal against Portland, and he had a chance to score again against San Diego, but then he also just disappears for stretches of the match. So it's like every time I think Quill has started Delgado twice in a row, he's gotten wildly different performances, and it's based on the team and everything. But I think that's just some of the pieces on this FC Dallas roster have talent, they have some quality, but they're going to be up and down. They're figuring it out, and there are some good threads. So I think Kayike is continuing to improve, still has to grow, but he's becoming more of that mainstay in the lineup. But it's clear that some of these other guys can disappear based on the situation.
Well, Patterson Delgado, he did show very well. Besides the goal, I mean, he just looks in shape. I mean, our biggest issue with him was that he seemed to take a lot of breaks, and you wondered about if he was game fit. Because he's so inconsistent. You wonder about his work rate. He disappears. He shows up and does impressive things. But I want to say that in that game where he got the goal, he actually was busting his ass off, going, on defense, rushing back on defense, and I thought he played his best complete game of the season in that match. In all honesty, uh, it, I, it's something we want to see from him. We want to see, hey, you need to play the full time when you're out there, not just pick your spots, which people still think that's what he's doing. But I thought he did great overall. It's just people are just they're like, oh, I haven't heard his name, his score, but he was busting his ass to get back on defense, and that's where it may have appeared that he disappeared. But I thought he was very active, way more active than I'm used to seeing him, and I was happy to see him get rewarded with that goal.
Well, I mean, another player that it's easy for us to pick at, but and the rumor is, well, I guess he already did, but rumor is that Shaq Moore is going to get a contract extension in the coming weeks, so it's good for him. But I really didn't want to talk about Logan Farrington, who just signed a new contract extension. The other guy, he had a chance there to level it late. Really, a chance that he's got to bury. He's got to see the defender coming. He's got to be more decisive, and it was just a perfect window of a guy that we love, who is definitely has a role on this team and is a great rotational piece, a great backup striker to Musa, sometimes to start alongside Musa based on the situation, and is good enough to carve out a role in this league for a while. And yet you see in those moments of, like, if he had just that little bit more quality, that little bit ability to make that extra touch, that correct, he would be at a different level, and then maybe we'd be even talking different about him. But I
think he's also a right-footed, isn't he? And if you watch the replay on that, is he was trying to switch his ball to his right foot, and that's where he got tackled, and that's just a part of what you're saying. But also, if he would have been, he should have shot with the left foot. That was there for him. Yeah. It's him trying to switch it over to the right foot that allowed the defenders to basically get that slide in and get it cleared out. But he also had Musa to the right of him, and I would have said that I would have preferred that he would have found a way to get the ball to Musa. That's what because honestly, yes, he did find a way to not. He has, like you said, he has to take that shot. He has to make that shot when he gets that opportunity. But if he can't take the shot, then he needs to get the pass to Musa, and I guarantee you Musa will get that shot off. So. Yeah, it's tough, but that's basically what Dallas was playing for. Dallas was playing to get that one guy free and get that shot, and they got it, and Farrington didn't deliver. That's why he's not starting next to Musa. I'm sorry, he is great, but coming off the bench, and he does give us times, but he's still young and he's still not consistent enough to be out there the full 90 minutes.
A good piece to have on this roster. So for those new FC Dallas folks, I mean, we have a lot of those guys who are emerging and continuing to emerge. And of course, that raises the question sometimes: how patient are you with players? But we have a lot of young players that are showing a lot, but have their ups and downs. But also we're kind of glad we have them, because other teams would love to have a guy like Farrington in the toolbox. The other piece, I think, the other thread is just depth. I'm sure fans coming off of the World Cup want FC Dallas to go out and add a big piece. They acquired Daniel as goalkeeper. There may be some outward movement. I mean, and we talked about that last week, and I think that's be something to watch. But we didn't have a midfielder loan from USL-C, from Rhode Island. What's interesting about Clay Holstad, high marks from the fans who watched him. They say he's a great teammate, a great personality, a great representative of the club up there, and a fun player full of energy that can work the field, can score some bangers. So it's a big moment for him, for Holstad. He was drafted by the Crew originally. But as a Quill guy at Quill knows well that fits the profile of an energetic midfielder who's going to cover ground and provide some depth for FC Dallas, and maybe even get a chance to say, I'm ready for the next level. And if that's true, then Dallas no doubt has got a huge bargain, which is kind of the FC Dallas way of doing business, and it gives them some flexibility. But just at the same kind of day that Dallas announces Chicharito to come on board to their USL-C team. Dallas goes out and gets a midfielder that has many Dallas fans going, who?
Yeah, but in all honestly, if FC Dallas signs Chicharito, he's not getting on the field. Not because he's not a good player,
I
because
mean,
he wouldn't
he
want to
would
be.
give you 10 minutes or, if push. I mean, but
We've
yeah,
had players
like a
like that.
Carlos Ruiz, but I don't know that the team is feeling like, oh, we need to bring in this striker that'll push us over the top. I don't, yeah.
Like Chicharito doesn't have that dog in him, and that's
Yeah,
the bottom
no,
line.
of course not. No.
Honestly, he yes, great signing for that team. I'm very happy for them, but he's not. He's already old, and he's going to be older by the time he actually plays for them. He'll be 39, and will have been out of the game for a full year by the time he laces up for them. So, good signing for a team trying to get noticed, but let's not pretend like he can come into FC Dallas and do anything for this team other than ride the bench. I'm sorry, that's the truth. He's not going to get in ahead of Musa. He's not going to get ahead of Moreno. He's going to bitch and moan. This guy pretty much has. I mean, it's a mercenary. At this age, he's a mercenary.
Yeah.
We don't need mercenaries. I'm sorry. I know he did a lot of great things, and people may roll his eyes saying, "Oh, he can definitely help FC Dallas." No, he can't. He can't. It's not that he doesn't have the talent. Is that I don't think he wants to be here. He doesn't want to play in MLS.
And Quill's going to make him work. I mean, Quill asks a lot. I mean,
and I'm just saying. Congratulations to Atletico. It's a good get for them. It's not a good get for Dallas. I'm sorry.
yeah.
And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's enough. We'll come back and do some match predictions in a little bit. It's a busy week ahead. Of course, MLS All-Star Week.
I do want to say on the new signing. My apologies, but the signing. He plays 6 and he can play as a center back. It's a position. Both are positions of need. We need depth at both of those positions, and so there's minutes to be had there. He may not get minutes, but you never know. You got Leagues Cup coming up. That's a chance for players like him to get some minutes and see if they can provide anything. So there's nothing wrong with the team. It's a loan with an option to buy. They're not committing to anything, and we've got that little sprint season coming up. And honestly, why wouldn't you just go out and anyone you bring in be someone who's on a loan or whose contract's ending, so that you can determine if you're going to be able to keep them around for the sprint season or not. So I like it. It's a body, and I think that's all we really needed. We just needed some bodies, some people that can come in and I think he's taking up a spot that we don't have. So I think the big news is somebody's going. Somebody's going. We just don't know who it is. We don't know if it's a significant or insignificant player on the roster. But this is the thing to get excited about: is somebody's on their way out, and that's why he got signed.
Or being loaned down to North Texas for the season or something. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we'll got to see. And maybe Daniel's injury, if he goes on injured reserve, that'll help solve it. But I'm intrigued by the signing just because I like underdog stories. I like guys coming up, and there has been a pathway that exists between USL-C to MLS, and probably the most notable guy in recent years is Iloski, who was with San Diego last year as part of their success, and is doing quite well for Philadelphia now. So
this guy has had success at he played for the Crew 2, remember correctly. That was 3 years ago. I think that's when they won MLS Next Pro, when he was with them. And then he jumps up to Rhode Island, and then Rhode Island has been fantastic while he's been there, and he has to be given credit for making the step from Division 3 to Division 2, and now he's being rewarded with an opportunity to make that jump to Division 1. And Rhode Island, for them, this is a great move because they're probably one of those teams that would love to jump up to the USL Premier, and loading up players to MLS is a great way to get them to see D1 action. And even if they don't make it at Dallas, that doesn't mean they can't come back with that new gained appreciation for that level, and help them better prepare for a jump up to the Premier if that is what they are intending to do.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see more USL teams with dreams of being a USL Premier actively trying to loan out players to MLS.
Yeah, yeah, but good point there. We have 3 starting quality keepers, and so we're not having to turn to an unproven guy right now. That's kind of a embarrassment of riches for this team. So, well, let's shift gears over and talk about North Texas. North Texas has been really in good form, and it was kind of funny because Gall made sure after their last win to point out that they've only given up 1 goal in 3 games. And then back at home against LAFC2, what happens? Well, LAFC2 scores 2 goals pretty quickly, kind of off of corner kick, kind of set piece situation. So kind of weird, kind of disappointing.
No, but that's finding a way.
Yeah, and I was pretty disappointed. Of course, turned my attention to the FC Dallas game on Saturday night, but then was excited to see Edu Nice, the team really claw their way back into things, settle down a bit, get 1 goal, and then very late earn a penalty kick, which was the correct call. I mean, a ridiculous decision by the LAFC2 defender, because at that point they just had to see out they just had to clamp down, and they would have had a big 3 points in Mansfield. But hey, North Texas converts the penalty kick. They get a draw. They get a point at home. That lose the subsequent penalty kick shootout. But a disappointing result though for this team. That probably the other big news is that Benji Flowers, who was officially signed this past week, a phenomenal young player, young. Keep in mind young.
Yeah.
He got the start. He didn't quite settle in, and he's participating in MLS Next All-Star stuff this week too, so maybe that was part of just to manage his minutes a bit, but a little bit. Yeah. What were your thoughts on that? Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of people missing for North Texas. There was like something like 5, maybe 6 guys that weren't on the bench or anywhere. So you have to wonder if they're banged up, if the team is banged up. They fielded a pretty young team, and they didn't settle down till the second half. And they a draw is susceptible. It's not ideal, but being down 2-0 and rallying in front of the home crowd, that's better than dropping 3, and I'll take it. I mean, the PKs were.
They were pretty bad.
Yeah, they were bad. But we'll take the point, and they dodged a home loss, which would have been pretty embarrassing. So at least they can say, hey, we haven't lost at home yet, and that they need to keep it that way if they really want to get into postseason. They absolutely need to not lose at home.
They'll be back on the I mean, they'll be back on the road this week, this Friday. I'm going to try to get out and cover that game, but. Yeah, a tough one, but then they'll be home again for 4 more matches, and hopefully can get that rhythm and get that sort of streak going. Because I think it's so important for them just to get that sense of home field advantage, and to really make it feel like that. And like that was kind of disappointing how they came out of the gates on Saturday night. They were struggling, but also give credit to LAFC2 for coming in with a good game plan. That's how professional sports are going to be. There's no gimmies. You got to go out and play. You got to go out and get on the front foot, and have a strategy. And if not, if you take your foot off the gas, it's not going to work out for you. So, a young team. I mean, congratulations to Benji Flowers getting his first start for North Texas. Hopefully, we'll see him gain more confidence.
First of many.
Yeah, first of many. Yeah, and I guess this week, the other news that we get to watch is, of course, Pedro Musa will be at the MLS All-Star Game on Wednesday. Benji Flowers will be competing, and actually Edu Nice, will be competing in MLS Next stuff. That'll be fun. That'll be fun to see some skill competition.
Is that going on right now, by the way?
I think it's tomorrow. I think it is tomorrow. Yeah, Tuesday. a little confusing though. But I'm looking at
Yeah.
the skill challenges tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
So it should be fun to watch. Should be fun to see if Musa can get a banger and keep kind of elevating his status. He is the Golden Boot leader right now for the league. So
Yes.
you know,
Nice. Nice to have. Nice to
nice to
see.
have. I mean, when have we been able to say that? For FC Dallas?
Exactly. It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah. So interesting news. So we got players being signed. We got some roster movement happening, and I think for FC Dallas, we're hoping just to see another face or two kind of move on. I think there's a couple of names. I mean, folks say Anderson Julio. Maybe there's some interest in him for a team that needs a striker, needs a winger. Dietzon's another guy that just really has disappeared, and really need to find a new home for him, even if it's a loan to the rest of the year. But it might create some opportunities for this team to improve a bit, to add some pieces. Yeah, it and also meanwhile just being patient to see the guys who come back from injury just get confidence and get fit and contribute.
Yep. And get used to, get into the formation, get into the rhythm of the new formation, and switch back and forth that Quill likes to do. So
Yeah.
it'll take time, and hopefully, they get up to speed here this weekend.
Yeah, let's close out the show here since I'm gonna run, and it's
Yeah, it's that time, right?
it's fall football camp actually starting for my son, and we have parents meeting tonight and stuff, so I've got to go and check that out. But let's do match predictions. Of course, North Texas will be on the road against Ventura County out here in Southern California. It's kind of a haul for me, but especially with traffic. If I go, I have to sort of commit to going because I'll get home late. But maybe I'll stop and enjoy an In-N-Out burger on the way. But anyway, looking forward to that one. Looking forward to see this team back on the road. As you pointed out, we were missing Kimbrough. We were missing some guys in the starting lineup. And really, one of the other threads, Jose, I was thinking about this week is just Nicholas Simmons, Ricky Luis, both guys that came out of the preseason in pretty good form, enough to get them on the bench for some FC Dallas matches to get minutes, but have since over the course of the season sort of fallen back to kind of maybe where we expected them to be as rookies, as guys who are needing to gain confidence, needing to adjust. I've expected more out of them I think, and I think
Yes.
we should expect more out of these if they're going to keep getting minutes with North Texas. That they need to show something. They need to figure out
They
how
need
to impact the game.
they had their college background. It hinted that they would dominate at this level, and they haven't. And I think that's you're getting at is they haven't dominated at this level. And honestly, two players that if North Texas wants to be part of the postseason are going to have to start delivering on that. And that's what really needs to happen. We were very high on them. We said, hey, they could be like Sarver at this level, and they haven't been. So I like to see. There's several players, not just them two, several players that I would like to see elevate their game. Let's not forget that North Texas is missing also Torquato, who's off to the U20s. As is who else? Who else is out there? There's
Contreras.
Contreras. There's two players right there that are on international duty, and there's significant players to be missing. If we're being honest, so we'll get some younger players. We'll get some minutes, and hopefully Cole can figure out how to get these kids all on the same page. And I'm still hopeful that North Texas will make that run.
Okay.
So my prediction is going to be a 2-2 draw with a loss on PKs. Ventura County is a high-scoring team. Their defense isn't much better than North Texas, but their offense is. And I think it's going to be 2-2, and I'd be wary of them allowing a late goal. That would be my concern, but I think it's 2-2 and a loss on PKs.
Well, I'm going to go a little more positive. I think a 2-1 victory. I think North Texas is. We've seen them bounce up and down, and I think they're going to come back and make some adjustments.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah, I wish I
mostly
knew. Yeah, but yeah, 2-2 draw. I think it would still be a result we take any day.
yeah, I think a point on the road would be good, and it's mainly because they're missing a lot of people, and that's my concern is this just for a team like that that's still trying to get at peak at the right moment. They're
Mhm.
missing quite a few players, and I don't know how many of them will be available back for that match, and I think that's the safe bet is a draw.
And then FC Dallas will come back to the West Coast on Saturday night, play against the Los Angeles Galaxy. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to cover that game. I got a complication, and so I'm missing that opportunity. Missed the San Diego match as well. So I'm yeah, this is kind of it, unless there's a playoff match in our future and it brings us out here. But yeah, the Galaxy have not been good. They're a team definitely. They're shedding some contracts.
One team that has not gotten that post World Cup bounce, and some people thought they would. They signed. Is that Paintstall they signed? They signed uh, during the break.
No, they signed. I thought it was a. Oh my gosh, a Finnish winger. Is that right?
Okay,
From
well,
Finland, but yeah, because no, the Paint Steel's already with the team. He's good. He's
okay.
good. But yeah, they've transferred out a couple of kids, a couple of guys that folks thought were going to be.
I think they ditched some. Yeah, they made some room, and I think that's just it. Is we're waiting to see who the big name is coming in. I think that's what I'm thinking is there's a big name coming, but that name hasn't been announced and isn't here. So there are points to be had on the road against the Galaxy. Galaxy have are no wins, one loss, and two no wins, one draw, and two losses in their last three home games. So there are points to be had there, and I'm going to go with a no frills 1-0 victory on the road with Musa scoring the game winner. And
Well,
what's that could be a 0-0 game for a long time in the match.
yeah. I think Dallas is going to have a bit more success. I'll go 2-0, but I do think that the one thread that did pick up from last week, I keep using this word thread, I don't know, but one little storyline. Let's use that word a little more journalistically.
Yeah.
But is like the after the San Diego match, even guys like Shaq Moore and stuff in the talking to media were clear that fatigue probably played a factor. The not just getting fit, but the travel. And Musa is going to be interesting because of how many minutes he gives on Wednesday night and the travel for the All Star game. He may not be available Saturday. He may just be available off the bench. So that could be a tricky one to kind of watch. So, but it could be a game that Logan Farrington comes out and does Farrington stuff that, again, reminds us why we love him so much, and Moreno and others. But they need the week rest. So this is going to be a better rested team. So I like a 2-0. I think it's going to be a smash and grab. It's not going to necessarily be pretty, but we'll embarrass the Galaxy again. But I could see it going for a draw as well. I mean, I just think it's
Yeah, I mean it'll
yeah,
be a close game, but I think Dallas pulls it off in the second half. Like I said, I think Musa off the bench gets a goal, and we take the W on the road. But like you, I would not be surprised if it's a draw. I would be disappointed with a loss, completely
yeah.
disappointed because there's points to be had here, and I would be disappointed if they didn't at least get 1 point out of this road trip.
Well, good stuff. I think we'll leave it there. I mean, I think there's going to be some great storylines just to watch with this, and like I think I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Sarver gets a start on Saturday, for instance, and if they just see
Hmm.
what and it's just getting the right pieces on the board for this team seems to be the
The
key thing
guy,
to yeah.
the guy that needs to elevate his game right now in the second half is Moreno. He's playing for a DP contract with this club. If he wants them to exercise that, buy clause on his loan, he needs to start showing that he's a DP worthy player. He's been showing flashes, but he's yet to show that he is a guy that we want to keep at the end of the season. He shows flashes, but he hasn't been able to make that one next step to show that, oh yeah, this guy is a keeper. you
Yeah.
know for this team. And I think he's the guy that I want to see elevate his game. Of all the players that we have, you, my man, are playing for a contract with this team, a DP level contract. So I think he's the guy that needs to step up. And if Musa's not going to play, he's the guy that we need to rely on to pick up that slack.
All right. Good. We've got plenty of stuff to watch for. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate the comments as usual. Appreciate your subscriptions, your support on the website at afterburn.soccer. We don't make much money, really don't make any money, but all of it is appreciative when you subscribe, when you follow us, when you like our podcast and share us and interact with us. We appreciate you. And Jose, I appreciate you too. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys. You have a good one.
All right. Hopefully, I'll test my audio and see if I got it better. All right.